You don't want to believe that your dad's a monster. At the time, you're just like, okay, he's my dad. Yeah, he's a criminal, but you realize it's worse than you even thought it ever could have been. Even now, we don't know the full extent of what he's done. This is Boston family portrait. My brother, me, my sister, my dad. My father was Silas Dwayne Boston. He went by Dwayne. He was a chameleon. He was able to put on this, I call it a mask of charm and charisma. It's like a typical 1970s family picture. But looks can be deceiving sometimes. Looking at it with hindsight, I'm thinking, you smug son of a bitch. How can you smirk like that when you know what you did? This is my mom. It says, Love, Mary Lou, 1962. This probably was her senior year. She's got the bouffant hairdo, which was all the rage back in those days. I remember she had really brown eyes and beautiful face. I remember she was a very loving mom and worshipped us kids. We were her whole world. She had met my dad when she was about 17 or 18. I think she was still in high school. I would describe my father as someone who's very manipulative. You could use the word charming, almost like a Ted Bundy type. He would put on this act, this charming act. And a lot of people did fall for that. And fortunately for my mom, she was one of them. I felt really close to my mom. I was probably about 3 or 4 years old when I have my most vivid memories about my mother. She was always playing music and cooking, baking cookies and stuff for us. When I was about 4 years old, September of 1968, all I knew was that she was gone. And it's just this weird that she would just disappear. She'd never do that. She would never just leave her kids and disappear. This is my mom's missing persons report from 1968, right after she disappeared. So this was filed by my uncle, her little brother. The husband, Dwayne Boston, stated that he took the missing person to the area of Del Paso Boulevard and El Camino Avenue approximately 1.5 weeks ago and dropped her off. She has not been seen or heard from since. My uncle stated that she could not stand to be away from her children for any period of time. The husband has shown very little concern or regard for her absence. The husband possessed a .22 caliber rifle with a scope mounted on it. He stated since her disappearance, the gun is gone and he has not seen it since. My dad told me at the time that she just left. We would constantly ask, where is mom? What happened? Where is she? He would change the subject or say, I told you, she ran off. I don't know. Stop asking me questions. It's like your heart has been ripped out. You have this void, in your life. It's hard to describe. It's a wound that never heals for your whole life. Your mother, it's always there. This sense of comfort and security, and that's gone overnight. I didn't know the whole scope of everything. But as a 4-year-old, I knew something was wrong and something was twisted. After her disappearance, I remember mostly being with my grandmother. Dad would get tired of us and fling us off onto his mom, my grandmother. One time the conversation was around Christmas. I think I was about 6 years old. We were talking about Santa Claus. I wonder what Santa's gonna bring this year. And then Grandma said, you know what, you kids, I'm not gonna lie to you. There is no Santa Claus. And also, I've been lying to you about your mom. She's never coming home.
Your mom is dead.
And we're like, why? Because your dad killed her. She told us, your dad came to me in September of '68 and said I had to kill Mary. I buried her where they'll never find her in a million years. And he said, out of all the people that I've killed, she's the only one I regret murdering. She said, why? It's like, well, she was going to divorce me and I didn't want to lose the kids. And she didn't like it, but she told us kids to not talk about it. If you tell anybody, the authorities, you're going to be orphans. You're not going to have a father. You already lost your mom. But the horrible parts of the story are still vivid. She did say that he shot my mom in the back of the head and she was running. He said, run, bitch, run. And she cried. She was crying. What about the kids? What about the babies, Dwayne? What about the kids? Got me. Sorry. That was her last thought. Not about herself. About us kids. This is my dad, circa 1968. Time he shot my mom. And he's got his .22 caliber. One of his favorite rifles. And he was deadly accurate. He'd love to shoot all the time. He was always taking my mom out. This is one of his favorite spots. This may have very well been the same rifle that he used to kill my mom. This was the same year. Could be the same rifle. And maybe the same location. This might have been the very last thing that she saw before he killed her. This picture gives me the creeps. It disgusts me to look at that photograph.
There might be people watching that will say, I still don't understand why you didn't go to the police yourself.
That's not real. That's not real life. We thought about the chain of events that would happen. We don't have a body. All he's gonna do is say, no, she ran off. I told you guys back in 1968. Snitches, in his mind, don't deserve to live. And if you would snitch on him, you're as good as dead. And you're a child and you're gonna put that target on your back? You just got to suck it up. You know that you're dealing with a homicidal monster at that point. He's capable of killing you at the drop of a hat. Imagine living with the person that killed your parent and you have to stay there until you're old enough to get out. The day in the life of being Silas Dwayne Boston's son, every day was different depending on his mood. It's like the weather, you never knew what to expect. We were just little kids, but he would terrorize us psychologically. Sometimes I think it leaves deeper scars. Certain things stay with you for life. I remember my dad being really attracted to gory things. He was an EMT. He actually did something at that point, which was legitimate and helping people. But he kept a scrapbook when he was an EMT. And the coroner would take pictures, I guess, these old black and whites of people that had died in horrible ways. I remember particularly this one old guy, he had hung himself in his backyard, and his eyes were bulging out, and his tongue was out.
Look at his face.
He enjoyed looking at stuff like that. Dad was really proud of showing these pictures, like little trophies. He reminded me of like a kid that wants to show you his piggy bank and how many coins he's collected, or maybe some bugs that he has. It's very fascinating to him. It's like, I don't want to see anymore. I've had enough. Thanks, but no thanks. And he would laugh. He would say, oh, like I was too squeamish. It was all part of his personality of really craving and being excited by violence and murder and death. He tired really quick of working for the man, especially since he had his kids. That was a constant, monthly supply of welfare and food stamps. He was just like, well, why work? I can just get stoned and drunk and party, which is what I want to do. And he decided to supplement the family's income with bringing in what he calls tapping. I remember one time he brought home this giant jar of pennies. Those water cooler jugs? Heavy. Filled with pennies and dimes and nickels. What's the favor? Start counting. Sorting the pennies out. It was just something that was expected of us kids to do. At the time, didn't really think of it as stolen goods. Him and his buddy, they come in laughing and bragging about how they broke into this old lady's house and tied her up, and they were wearing these rubber Halloween masks. They thought that she was having a heart attack, but the way he was talking about it, they were laughing and didn't give a if she lived or died. I guess it was a good haul for them, jewelry and whatnot. It was kind of a party atmosphere to them. I thought, this is really horrible. I felt like an outsider, that I did not want to participate in these certain things. My dad would feel like, what's wrong with you? You should be enjoying this. This is cool, fun stuff. I was a disappointment in his eyes. He doesn't have this thing called compassion or guilt. He knows it's wrong, but it's a game to him. It wasn't just all black and white. There was some gray there, and it was hard. It's hard to just hate somebody. He wasn't a monster all the time. He hates Christmas. It's like the original Grinch. He'd never buy us really Christmas presents. He'd just give us money and say, yeah, go buy whatever. But this one year, it's kind of emotional for me, but sorry. I haven't thought about this in a while. He actually bought us toys that year. It was, remember those old Viewmasters? We didn't have any Christmas wrapping, so he wrapped it up in a paper bag, and, God, sorry. As kids, you want to sneak and find out what you got. And so I was like opening the bag, and he was mad that I found out what we were going to get. And it's like, you're not really the Grinch. You really care about Christmas. I mean, why would you care about that we were peeking? It's like what a normal dad would do. And, sorry. That was one of my favorite Christmases of all time, because he showed a side of him that was human and that cared about how we felt as kids. I gotta take a break. Sometimes he'll bring in a girlfriend and things would mellow out for a while because he was in charming mode. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing. So you have these waves and cycles of him going through these weird personality changes. He had a girlfriend and she had a couple of daughters. They decided that they were going to come live with us as a family. I remember Dad had stolen a bunch of Christmas toys. They were like I think they were in the garage or something. This girlfriend at the time said, hey, just between you and me, did your dad steal those toys? And she's like, you can tell me, you can trust me. She's like, yeah, he stole those toys. Maybe a day later, it was like,
I know, Mom. Tell me what you said.
Did you tell her this and that? Did you tell her I stole those toys? I go, no. And I was like, oh my God, she betrayed me. He grabbed me by the throat and started choking me and then lifted me up and smashed my head into the drywall. And I'm choking, I couldn't breathe. I'm turning blue and no one's helping me. I'm dead. I know I'm dead. So he was mad that I told on him about the toys. I was a snitch, and it almost got me killed by confiding in somebody that I trusted. Life lesson, don't trust anybody. Keep your mouth shut. From my perspective, when I was younger, I knew something was wrong, but it's nothing you could really change. You normalize things. But when you get older and start to realize this is not normal, this is the opposite, it's abnormal. Late 77. My brother and I were sharing a bedroom and woke up in the middle of the night and heard some really unsettling sounds. It sounded like a young girl crying and whimpering, Dwayne, no, stop, please. Dwayne, no. Over and over and over. Both of us knew better than to go in there. The next morning, a friend of my dad's came out for breakfast. They were talking about the night before and the girl. And I said, hey, yeah, that's right. We heard some really weird noises last night. And it sounded like a girl was crying. What was that all about? My father's like, oh, I don't really remember. Kind of playing off like he's blacked out or something. As soon as we were away from his friend, he's like, dummy up, don't talk about what happened. Dummy up means shut up, don't talk. Pretend like you're deaf, dumb, and mute. From very early on, Dad had certain rules. You learn these lessons at an early age. The bad guy was the good guy. Cops were pigs. Being a criminal was cool. And probably the number one rule is there's nothing worse than a snitch. And he showed us that in many ways. Stay out of the way. My dad found out they were going to press charges. But he decided that he wasn't going to stand trial for this. Dad said, hey, do you guys want to go to Belize? And we're like, yeah, I guess. Okay. I think I was 13 at the time. I'd pretty much figured out that we were on the run to get away from the court case and the trial. Dad decided that he was going to start what he called an excursion business. So my dad ended up meeting an English couple from Manchester. This is Chris and Peta, Chris Farmer, Peta Frampton. This is before I met him. Maybe after they started their vacation. He was a doctor. She was an attorney that had just recently graduated. This was one leg of their journey of a world trip that they had started in England and made it to Australia and working their way through Mexico. And then they crossed paths with my dad in Belize. We were in Belize in a newly, freshly built sailboat. They decided to come on board and hire us to take them to down south to Rayta in Honduras. Unfortunately, they never got there. This is where we lived for several months on board this fishing boat, sailboat. It's my brother and the blonde kid. And this is Chris Farmer. This was in 1978. They became part of the crew, especially Chris. He wanted to learn how to sail. He was manning the boat, the tiller. He wanted to know how to navigate, all these things. He was down for everything. Whereas Peta was a little bit more quiet and resigned herself to the galley and cooking and that sort of thing, writing letters. At this point, things were peaceful and having a great time. Happy Dad came back, the charming dad that he could be, to impress the new guests. But it wasn't long until the mood changed. When we'd be out at long stretches sailing, he would drink this Jamaican rum drink. Then he would get abusive when he would drink. He had my brother pull up the anchor, and he went up there and clocked him and started beating the crap out of him. Chris and Peta said, stop. That's enough. He's a kid. Leave him alone.
Get off!
My dad was all drunk and, don't you tell me about my kids, and tried to take a swing at Chris. So Dad missed. He was just fuming. He was very humiliated, and that's when things really changed, I think. You could see it in his eye. You can see the storm brewing, I guess. We knew that the party was over. They kind of knew that he didn't want them on that boat anymore. Said something about offing them. He wanted to get them off, and we just thought he meant get them off the boat. In hindsight, it was easy to see that he'd been planning this for weeks and premeditating, plotting, planning every single detail and setting up this murder far in advance. We're anchored off the port of Livingston, Guatemala. Dad had talked them into that's where they're going to deport. And we were just hoping that they would just get off the boat and go on their world trip that they were on. He told Chris to go and pull up an anchor at the front of the boat. We stealthily sneaks behind him and takes this baton, cracks him upside the head as hard as he can. And then he keeps hitting him over and over and over. PETA was in the aft galley cooking or whatever she was doing back there, and she pops up. And she's like, "Get your ass back down there. I'm going to shoot you with a spear gun."
Get the hell out of here before I kill you!
My brother and I were like, what the? And me, I'm like, what is going on? Dad said, you need to pay me more money. And he's like, okay, that's fine. We'll pay you. And Dad took some rope and tied up Chris. Then he went back, tied up PETA in the galley. He says, your job is to stay awake and watch her so she doesn't escape. She was furious. She looked me in the eye and said, you're going to burn in hell. And I'm thinking, yeah, she's probably right. I said, I wish I could let you go, but if I do, he's going to kill all of us. I felt so helpless at that point. You're in a circle of water. And even if you could escape, I didn't speak Spanish at the time. I don't even know if I could have communicated with the authorities. They don't speak English. When you're on a small boat and you know that the guy that has your life in their hands is a psychopath and a serial killer and has murdered your mom, is threatened to murder you, where are you going to go? You're trapped. The next morning, I remember he untied Chris because he wanted him to countersign his traveler's checks. He was tied up, but he could still move his arms. He had us all convinced that it was just a robbery. He's going to take their traveler's checks and then let them go. That was what he kept telling us and telling them. And we all believed him. My dad got 2 plastic bags, came back, put one over Chris's head, did the same thing to PETA. Dad was telling them that he was going to take them out to this one shore and then tie him up to a tree. Right? He didn't steer towards the shore. He steered out to the deep water. Turns kind of inky black, and you can't see any land. He took Chris, or PETA, topside. He had him tied with the wrists together, and then their ankles were all tied together. He went down below decks and brought out the ballast, the two big pieces of machinery. There was heavy weights in the bottom of the boat. He took another length of rope and tied it onto first Chris, then Pita, with the weight on the other end. He said, okay, we're really close now. I'm gonna toss you overboard and just stand right up. And he picked up Chris and threw him overboard and threw the weight after him. Went back and threw Pete over and threw the weight overboard. I remember watching the bubbles when they were going down. I'm just like, what the just happened? What is going on? I remember my knees were just shaking. After that, aside from the wind, it was dead silence. No one said anything until about 2 or 3 minutes later. My dad looked at his digital watch and said, okay, they're dead now. And then he said, I had to do that. They left me no choice. Of course, he had a choice. It's hard to process. It's like having a nightmare and you just can't wake up and you have no control over it. We didn't say anything. I was just like in shock. With the benefit of hindsight, you have these fantasies and scenarios where I'm some kind of superhero. And I'm just a scrawny kid. What am I going to do? We were trapped on board with a psychopath. You fear for your life at that point. You think, okay, he really is a serial killer. At that point, he needed us to clean up his mess, so to speak. He's trying to hide evidence. Immediately shifted into cover tracks. He sold the boat, took that money, bought one-way tickets for all three of us from Belize City. After we came back from Belize, I wanted to distance myself as much as possible. I knew that even being around him was dangerous. At 17, with my dad's signature, I was able to join the Navy and get away. I stopped talking to my father. I wasn't under his thumb anymore. I was able to, for the first time, feel safe about reporting him, and I tried. So I got some quarters and went to the payphone in the barracks, tried to call Scotland Yard. That was the place to call for British police. So I called them and I told them who I was and what I witnessed. Nothing ever followed through. At that point, I had taken Spanish in high school. I was able to converse pretty good in Spanish. So I called Guatemala because that's where they found the bodies. I said, my name is Vince Boston. My father is Silas Toyin Boston. In the year 1978, we were in Livingston, Guatemala, and my father killed 2 people on our boat. I couldn't get any traction at all, just dead air, just silence. You feel like, didn't these people's lives mean anything? For years, I tried to contact anybody I could think of. This is a monster that's continuing to do this. He needs to be stopped. And no one seemed to care. No one stopped him. No one followed through. I've tried contacting Belize, Guatemala, UK. Those were all dead ends. Only way I could do this was starting at home base, my hometown, with my mother's murder, disappearance. The first time I got some traction was around 2010, 2011 when I contacted at the time, sergeant, now lieutenant, who was in charge of homicide and missing persons in Sacramento Police Department. He started the ball rolling. They were going to reopen the case. Around that same time, in the United Kingdom, the authorities there had started their own, what they call an inquest. And so they were also looking into double homicide. I found out through Sacramento PD that my father knew or suspected that I was the one that was talking to the police about what he had done. I got word back, what's wrong with Vince? Why is he saying all this stuff about his mom, about these people in Belize? Why would he even say anything like that? Snitches should be killed. I was warned by my brother and my half-brother that I need to be on the lookout. You're always looking over your shoulder. They had to interview people and witnesses. They had to put all their little ducks in a row. A couple years later, they had enough information to make the arrest. They finally arrested my dad, December 1st, 2016. This is my dad's arrest picture. His eyes are like piercing, and it's almost like a caricature of who I remember my dad was. It's a horrible picture. This is like the stuff of nightmares. He had stopped taking his medications, and apparently he stopped eating. He was in the hospital. I said, you know, he's trying to kill himself. And you're going to let him die before he can stand trial? My brother was there with him and asking for basically information about the location of my mom's body. Even though he knew that it was the end for him by his own terms, he still would refuse to let us know where we could find our mom. What kind of person does that? I would say a monster. A selfish, egotistical, evil monster. My brother asked him, how many people do you remember killing? And he said, well, I think it's about 33. That's as many as I remember. Who are these other people? Each person has a whole family and loved ones and maybe children that are grieving because of his actions and his selfishness. But my father died while he was awaiting trial. We can't bring our loved ones back. My mom was still dead. Those people were still dead. He had lived his whole life in freedom. He died at, 78 years old or whatever he was. He took his own life. on his own terms? Is that really justice that he got away with it all these years? You know, they say delayed justice is justice denied, right? It's not easy to deal with. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me rethink all those questions. What could I have done? Could I have done something different? But the past already happened. The only thing you can do is try to make today the best you can and be the best person that you can. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about my mom. She'll always be 23 in my mind. I have no idea where she is. I'd love to find her and bring her home, you know, and give her a proper, decent burial. I've given my DNA, and they said it was going into the CODIS database. They said if there was a hit, they would let us know. I'm still waiting for that phone call or that email.
This is probably one of the hardest photos to look at. For a while, it was almost like the crunching of the knife going in my skull. And I remember just thinking, okay, I guess this is my time. I'm going to go home and meet God. If I hadn't fought like hell, I wouldn't be here today. You can't always tell the face that evil has. It's definitely not what I thought it would be. I believed if somebody loved God, they were a great person. That really got shattered about 4 years ago. When they say that love is blind, it really is a true statement. And looking back, I think, how could I have not seen what a monster he was? My whole life, I had always visioned having that marriage that God talked about in the Bible. I went on dating websites and I was very specific with what I was looking for. I wanted a God-fearing man that showed it in his life. This was one of the first photos that Sean sent me of himself and his semi-truck that he drove. My first impressions of him was that, you know, he was very handsome. He was sweet. He knew the Bible. When we first started talking, it was a lot about our values and our faith. He told me that he attended church regularly and that he used to take groceries to the elderly, that he was very involved in serving with church. He kind of passed all the little tests that I gave him and kind of met the expectations that I had to kind of move forward with somebody. I was really kind of starting to think that, you know, this is maybe a person God had brought into my life. But he's the person that taught me there was evil in the world. One of our early dates, my church was having what they call Good Neighbor Weekend. Everybody goes out and kind of serves. We're like the hands and feet of Jesus. This was the photo that him and I took at the Good Neighbor Weekend when we volunteered together. And I had invited him to come with me. And I almost expected him to just say no, but he kind of said, sure, absolutely. I would love to go with you. Thanks for coming out today. We planted, we, de-weeded, we put rocks down, and it was just a great day. He worked really, really hard, talked to everybody, just seemed like he was a really good guy. And it was just nice to see someone that kind of was wanting to do God's work with me. So we ended up talking about just different things in our past. He told me that he had been married before, but, it was kind of a bad situation.
Things didn't really work out between us.
His ex-wife had cheated on him. He found her in bed with somebody, and that was kind of the final straw, and he just knew that she wasn't going to change. He ended up beating up the guy that he found his wife in bed with. He went to jail for it and got an assault charge, is what he said. I would have probably done the same thing if the situation was reversed. So that didn't make me think any different of him. He really wants to get married again and have kids, and, it'd be forever this time. At the time, I thought he's a great guy. Let's kind of move past this and let's focus on us and our future together. And so, we definitely moved pretty quick. Years later, I found out that the assault charge wasn't because he beat somebody else up. He didn't even ever find his wife in bed with another person. The assault charge was for attacking his wife. I never really saw what a healthy relationship looked like because I didn't have a father. And so I didn't know how a man was supposed to treat a woman or what he was supposed to say. And so I think that affected a lot of my relationships. It wasn't big fights, but what I kind of learned was that what he said went. One day Sean was upstairs working. There was a knock on the door. And it was one of the contractors. And I went upstairs to get Sean because he hadn't heard the door. We came downstairs and he started talking to the contractor.
Yeah, thank you.
Then, the contractor ended up leaving because he got what he needed.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Sean started going off on me and telling me, don't you ever answer the door unless I'm here. Why would you let somebody in? You don't know who he is. I don't trust you, with anybody else in this house. You make sure that you don't have any guys in this house unless I'm here. I don't care if they're contractors. I don't care if they have work to do. If I'm not here, they're not coming in. And he was very mad and in my face and then walked upstairs and walked away. I was very surprised that he got angry, but I believed at the time that he was really trying to protect me. Our first session, I would bring up something and then he would overtalk me, say, that's not how it went. This is how it went. And he would cut me off. He wouldn't let me continue talking to the counselor, or he would let me talk to the counselor. And then he would say, oh, no, that's not how it went. This is how it went.
We've had a few sort of
It was about 3/4 the way into the hour. And I just remember the counselor saying, okay, I'm going to stop you guys right now. My recommendation is going to be that you guys do not get married. We both were kind of shocked, like, what just happened? We came for premarital counseling. You're supposed to be helping us with the tools to have a better marriage. I didn't feel like she had the right to say that yet because she didn't really know us. At that point, we were in a good place. We were going to church together. We had started praying together, started reading the Bible together. We closed up the session. Sean went to the bathroom. I remember the lady kind of pulling me aside and saying, I just get a feeling that this isn't a good person for you to marry. I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, I just don't think you guys are supposed to be together. And then he came out of the bathroom and we ended up leaving.
Have a good night.
I kind of took it as, she was a stranger and I kind of knew more about my life than she did, and I didn't see any big red flags. I mean, we were moving in the direction of getting married. That's what I wanted. I think I was just very set on him being a good person and, our lives kind of aligning. And so I wasn't ready to kind of hear that. I used to have a lot of guilt about why I didn't listen and why I didn't see those things. I think things would have turned out differently. Sean would just get to a point where he would explode and he couldn't kind of handle his emotions anymore. It really did concern me. We started arguing more and have more altercations. I was starting to really wonder if this was a relationship that I wanted. I said, I think we kind of need to discuss what the counselor said and how we're going to kind of move forward. There's been things that haven't been the greatest lately. And so I think that we need to make a decision to kind of go our separate ways. He ended up going into the bathroom and he was in there for a little while. I remember hearing the bathroom door open. And I remember seeing blood just pouring down his arm from his elbow to his wrist. It was kind of terrifying.
What did you do?
And he told me that he had cut his arm with a box opener. He got mad and he ran out the front door and he just got in the car and drove off. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do. And so I called his mom. His mom said, all I can do is tell you to run. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, that's all I can say, and kind of hung up. I was worried about where he was. I was worried about whether he was okay or not. I, at that point, didn't know how bad it was. I was sitting on the couch when he came home. It was almost kind of a relief when I saw him and he was okay.
Where have you been?
I just needed to clear my head.
I went and got kind of a cloth to kind of wipe the blood off, and it really wasn't a deep cut. I just asked him, why would you do something like that? He explained that, it was something that he had did because he was scared he was going to lose me.
I just can't stand the thought of us not being together.
He believes that kind of God put me in his life and we're supposed to get married. He knew that, I would feel bad for him, and that's kind of why he did it. And I had found a person that knew how to manipulate and prey on someone that wanted to be in a relationship. And I think looking back, I could even yell at myself and say, why did you stay? But when you're in it, it's not that easy. When you're in it, you don't see the things you see looking back. Looking back, I see everything.
We are supposed to be together.
It's not what your mom thinks.
I told him that, I had spoke with his mom, and his mom said to just run. I asked him what that meant. He told me, I'm not surprised that she would try to sabotage something that's going good in my life. She typically does that in my life. He definitely preyed on my sympathy. My desire to be in a relationship helped me overlook any doubt that I had.
Don't let her come between us.
It makes me shocked that, I believed him and that I didn't see kind of the manipulation that was going on. This is our wedding trailer. We humbled ourselves and did what Jesus did to the apostles and washed each other's feet. I thought it would be a nice touch to get Sean a knife that said Hubby Sean on it. He had said he was somebody that was patient, somebody that was kind, somebody that wasn't self-seeking, somebody that would love me and honor me and cherish me. It was something I had dreamed of my whole life. And instead I got somebody that lied to me, that was angry, that made me feel worthless. He had me fooled as to who he really was. We cherished and wanted this to be a godly relationship, so we didn't have sex till we were married. It was not the intimate, romantic relationship that I thought we would have. We definitely had sex when I didn't want to. I remember one night I was so exhausted and so tired. I just wanted to go to bed. He wanted to have sex. He started kissing my neck. When I said no, I really don't feel like it. I'm really tired. He made me believe that it was something that was wrong with me. He said I was letting him down and letting our marriage down, and I wasn't doing my wifely duties. He knew that me thinking I was not a good wife would be very hurtful to me. I wanted to be a good wife, and I wanted to make him happy. I remember him rolling me over, and I literally just laid there, and, he just had really rough sex with me. Tears started to fill my eyes, and I just thought, is this really what sex is supposed to be? I definitely felt violated. I thought that I was being a good wife by letting him do it. That definitely is rape, and that's not what a good marriage looks like. I definitely felt that biblically I didn't have a reason to leave. He hadn't cheated on me. He hadn't physically hurt me. We had made a commitment for better or for worse. And, this was the worst time right now. Things kind of started taking a turn for the worse. He never liked to kind of work through things or talk about things. He would get mad and scream and yell and walk away. I noticed whenever his temper flared up, he would disappear into the basement. One night, we had gotten into a big argument, and he went down in the basement. He was there all night and then came up and went to work. I went downstairs, and I looked around the corner and saw the big black punching bag that had my name spray painted on it, Sarah. And I just, was in shock. This is a photo of our basement. I remember this like it was yesterday. To know that he was punching something that had my name on it was kind of scary. I cringed at the thought of someone spray painting my name on a bag, and that he's literally down there basically beating out of Sarah. It's just kind of sick. Even though this was in the basement, I never believed that he would physically hurt me. But I was dead wrong. I didn't understand why my name was on a punching bag. When he finally came home, I asked him about it. And again, he kind of brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. He said, well, it's better that I hit the punching bag, then I hit you. And I thought, well, I guess that makes sense. We had kind of made the covenant of marriage. And so it was so hard for me to be okay with walking away because he hadn't physically hurt me. When we were kind of just not connecting like we used to. It seemed like every other thing I said was wrong or every other thing I did was wrong. We started to have sex less. I was a little relieved that he wasn't coming to me every single day to try to have sex with me. I started to wonder what was going on. He was spending a lot more time on his phone, which kind of made me wonder what he was doing on his phone. He had gone upstairs and I started going through his phone and I saw that he had placed some personal ads on social media and was looking for married women that wanted to have sex with married men. There was one person that he had been talking back and forth and he had messaged her and said, me so my wife can come home and catch us and then she'll leave me. I really didn't care because we were not in a good place. But on the other hand, I knew it wasn't right because we were married. I confronted him about the ads and, he said that, he was lonely. He had never met anybody. He had never done anything with anybody. And so, it wasn't that big of a deal. He always had a reason or an excuse or a way of talking his way out of everything. He wasn't really the godly man that I thought he was or that he had portrayed himself to be. Even though, we went to church every weekend and attended church, he didn't live that out in his daily life. I started to think that maybe all the things that he had said to me or all the things that he said he wanted were lies. This time, I kind of had decided that maybe things needed change, and I decided to kind of go stay at my mom's for a little while. This wasn't a marriage, and this wasn't a place that, God wanted me to stay. So this is the hood of my car. I told him I was going to come pick up the car. And when I got there, it was keyed on both sides from the front to the back. And on the hood, he wrote bitch in a key mark. It made me sick to my stomach. I don't really understand what kind of person would do something like that to someone's vehicle that they loved. This just kind of shows the type of vindictive and sick person he was. He knew what he was doing every second and every moment that he did this. I started getting text messages that were videos from him. He literally was going through every single photo that we had of us. You never cared about me. Talking about the memory and talking about that it was a lie and that he hated me and why would I say these things and I never really loved him. And he literally would rip the photos up and he would throw it in a trash can.
None of this meant anything to me.
He was getting meaner and nastier with what he was saying, and he just kept sending them and sending them. I had to literally turn my phone off because I couldn't sleep. When I woke up, I turned my phone back on and, had 30 plus videos of him continuing to do what he was doing. He just wanted power over me and was realizing he didn't have any more power. I had really started to realize who he was and the manipulation that he was doing. That was the wake-up call I needed. Moving, to Arizona from Indiana kind of gave me my freedom back. I think I believed that once I left and created some distance in between us, that he would be able to leave me alone. And I was wrong. I had become so isolated and confined. And so I had to figure out what I liked again, what my hobbies were, what my passions were, and what I wanted to do in life again. I didn't have anyone that was telling me who I could and couldn't hang out with. I could go do things with my friends when I wanted to. And I was really working on a lot of personal development and self-growth. So I had done photography before, and I decided to update my online accounts for my photography business. I got a text message from someone saying that they would like for me to do their engagement photos. And it was a pretty big hike out to the actual point that they wanted to take the pictures at. I looked it up, and it was about a 2.5-mile hike. I overbid the job because I had to bring all my gear out there, and I'm not a hiker. I was really surprised when they accepted the bid. A little bit later, I get a text, and it said, "We know some friends of you and, your husband's. Your husband's a really good guy, and we don't know why you would leave him." So that immediately triggered a light bulb. This has to be Sean. I thought me leaving would just help him understand that I was done. But he wouldn't leave me alone. I said, I had something come up, and I can't do the shoot for you guys. Knowing Sean and all the things that he had done in the past, I wouldn't put it past him to go to this low to figure out what I was doing. Looking back on that, I really feel like I came extremely close to death. He could have lured me out to that location, and he would have easily killed me. I received a text message. It basically said, "Hey, I am really excited to come out to Arizona. I can't wait to be together. It's like nothing's wrong. Nothing's happened. He's coming. He can't wait to start his life together with me." It took me until the next day to even respond. And I just said, "I'm not interested in being with you." He said that God had told him that it was time that we got back together. I just said, "I have no desire to be back with you. We're separated. We filed for divorce. I've moved on with my life. I wish you the best. You need to move on with your life." I felt like it was a mind game that he was playing. But I also had the security that he didn't know where I lived. So I thought that I was safe. He told me that he already knew where I lived, and this was the picture that came next. And I was in complete disbelief. He wrote the letter to the last known address and put "Do not forward, return to sender." And they sent it to him. And it had the little yellow sticker on it with my address. When I got this photo, my heart started racing. I didn't want him at my house. The fact that he knew where I lived scared the shit out of me. I still never believed that he would do what he did. I never believed somebody could be that evil. September 15th, 2018, I did my morning routine, opened the door, and as I opened the door, Sean was standing around the corner. He had a can of bug spray and sprayed me in the face with it. I fell on the floor and he got on top of me. I started screaming, "Sean, what are you doing? Stop, stop. What are you doing, Sean? Sean, stop. What are you doing?" He told me he had been stalking me and watching me for weeks. He told me that he wasn't happy and I was, and he couldn't deal with it. He said that he wanted closure. He pulled out a knife and he said, "Do you remember this?" And it just so happened to be the knife that I gave him on our wedding night that was inscribed and said, "Hubby Sean." He told me that he came to kill me, that he was going to cut me up into pieces and put me in a suitcase and drive off a cliff and commit suicide. And I believed every word he said. I was scared for my life. I knew that I was going to fight like hell to survive. He put a plastic bag over my nose and my mouth and started to try to suffocate me. He said that we were supposed to be married forever and that he could never see me happy with somebody else and having a child with somebody else, and that, you know, if he couldn't have me, nobody could have me, and that, you know, one of us was going to die that day. I remember feeling something go right below my eye, and I didn't even see it because the plastic bag was over my face. I remember hearing crunching and a sound that I will never forget to this day. And all of a sudden, I couldn't see out of my right eye. And I had an excruciating pain that I had never felt before. I had no clue what had happened. You know, I had the bag fully over my face and was trying to kind of get him off of me. I just grabbed whatever it was and pulled it out and threw it. I remember clawing at the plastic bag and trying to breathe as the bag went in and out, you know, with my breath. He was trying to suffocate me. And I remember just my breath was getting really shallow and my body was starting to get lethargic. And I remember just thinking, okay, I guess this is my time. I'm going to go home and meet God. It was really scary to know that it could be over. You know, I felt like I wasn't done with being here, and just to be grasping for air and not being able to catch my breath and feeling my body almost go limp was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. And then I remembered that my mom would be left here by herself and she would lose her daughter, and that just gave me a fight to fight a little bit more, and I was able to get him off of me. The bag came off my face and I could gasp for air and catch my breath. The whole time I'm thinking, how can I escape? I've screamed, I've yelled, nobody has come. I asked him, you know, like, why are you doing this? Then he just said, because we were supposed to be together forever. It was till death do us part, and one of us is going to die today. I was really trying to kind of figure out what he wanted and how to kind of get into his mind to save myself. It was hard to kind of think like a crazy person would think. Try to figure out what he wanted and where he was trying to go with this and what I could say to make him happy. I was able to convince Sean that I was unhappy and didn't want to live without him. And that pretty much all this had been a show, and I missed him, and I really loved him, and I wanted to be with him. I said, why don't we go get some ice cream? Because it was something that we had done before. And in that moment, I had kind of passed that test for the time. He said, okay, well, that sounds like a good idea, but, you know, I want to make love one more time before. I thought to myself, well, I'm definitely not going to say no because, you know, I've kind of been through this. And so I went into the bedroom, lay down on the bed. I remember just seeing this group of people. I remember thinking to myself, this is it. If I don't get out now, I'll never have a chance. And I grabbed the door handle, the lock opened, and I was able to get my wrist out. And I just ran as hard as I could towards the people. And I said, help, help. He stabbed me. He raped me. Sean drove off really quick. This probably was a day or two after I'd been attacked. My face has been cleaned up. There's not blood. How can someone do this to somebody else? Much less, how can someone that supposedly loves someone and was married to somebody and wanted to spend forever with them do this? He brought a murder kit. He had researched how to stab someone in the eye to kill him. He meant to stab me in the eye with a knife, but because he had the bag over my head, it missed and went below. The cut under my eye is where the knife went in. The eye socket was fractured when the knife went in. I still get twinges in my eye, and I still don't have any feeling in my forehead. I stayed in the hospital for 5 days. My eye was pretty swollen shut. They told me it would never open again. I think that he really took the vows of till death do us part. I mean, he told me I was going to die that day. This is a photo of Sean in his wardrobe for the rest of his life. He actually kind of hated the color orange, so it's kind of funny that that's what he gets to wear. I hope that someone shows him the same evilness that he showed me. I mean, this is such a different photo than the person standing in front of the blue truck in the first photo he sent me. I don't think he was ever capable of being a kind, loving, godly husband. I will always look over my shoulder. Even though he's been sentenced to life, he could get out in 25 years. If he ever gets out, it'll be the scariest day of my life. My face today is stronger than ever. I believe that God is using the bad situation to help others kind of get out of a situation that they're potentially in. I felt a lot of guilt that if I would have just walked away, I would have my vision and I wouldn't have pain constantly. But I'm put here to help others and to really create awareness around this. I believe that he was a fraud the entire time, that he never really loved me and he never really came into this relationship wanting the same thing I wanted. I think the fact that I didn't have a father figure in my life and I didn't know what a healthy, good relationship looked like really made me vulnerable. He definitely found somebody that he could prey on. Looking back, I wasn't strong enough to walk away when I saw that first red flag. Even though he's locked up, I have learned how to protect myself. I carry a weapon with me. It's a life that I never thought I would live. It's not just a dark alley where someone evil is going to be. It could be somebody that's sitting right next to you and you have no idea what they're thinking.